chapter with the title Sridhar Mayapur. Prabhupada then called for Vaidyanath Goswami to discuss why there were no visitors yet on such an important day. Vaidyanath Maharaj said that it was probably due to the fact that the general public are not aware of the occasion. The festival had obviously not been well advertised, because at Gaura Purnima tens of thousands of people come here during the festival week. Prabhupada wasn't very satisfied. He thought more should have been done to attract the public. Ich lese Ihnen immer nur einen Absatz, oder?
Kann man noch mehr lesen, wie Sie wollen.
After an early massage, Prabhupada went down to the temple room at 11:10 a.m. He offered his obeisances to the large painting of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that had been placed on the Vyasasana. He seemed very satisfied to see the beautiful decorations. There were long multicolored drapes hung along the back wall, as well as strands of marigolds draped around the Vyasasana, and banana trees and leaves were placed all around. Moving to the front of the Vyasasana area, he sat comfortably on an asana on the floor with his back to the Jaliwork beds. Okay, lesen wir bis dahin heute. Und es sind ja auch wieder mehr gekommen. Ne? More have arrived. Okay. So. Wenn dann mehr Leute sind, fällt mir auch mehr ein. So, Canto 6, what?
6, 7, 26.
Canto 6, chapter 7, verse 26. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Chodayam Mudirayet.
Tadojayam Virayet.
Nashta Prayeshva Bhatreshu.
Nasta Prayeshva Bhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Sri Shuka Uvacha.
Sri Shuka Uvacha.
Taivam Mudita Rajan.
Taivam Mudita Rajan.
Taivam Mudita Rajan.
Taivam Mudita Rajan.
Taivam Tur Udita Rajan.
Taivam Mudita Rajan.
Brahmana Vigata Jvara.
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 Vishim Tvastram Upavrajya.
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 Parisvajyedam Apruvan.
Parisvajyedam Apruvan.
Parishvajyedam Apruvan.
Parishvajyedam Apruvan.
Parishvajyedam Apruvan.
Parishvajyedam
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Ta eva mudita rajan
Eva Mudita Rajan
Brahmana Vigata Jvara
Brahmana Vigata Svara
Rishim Tvastram Upavrajya
Vishim Vastra Upavrajya
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Ta eva mudita rajan
Eva Mudita Rajan
Brahmana Vigata Jvara
Brahmana Vigata Svara
Rishim Tvastram Upavrajya
Vishim Vastra Upavrajya
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Ta eva mudita rajan
Eva Mudita Rajan
Brahmana Vigata Jvara
Brahmana Vigata Svara
Rishim Tvastram Upavrajya
Vishim Vastra Upavrajya
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Then this next please.
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Eva Mudita Rajan
Eva Mudita Rajan
Brahmana Vigata Jvara
Brahmana Vigata Jvara
Risham Tvastram Upavrajya
Rishim Vastram Upavrajya
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Ta eva mudita rajan
Eva Mudita Rajan
Brahmana Vigata Jvara
Brahmana Vigata Svara
Rishim Tvastram Upavrajya
Vishim Vastra Upavrajya
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
And ladies, please.
Sri Shuka Vacha
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Eva Mudita Rajan
Eva Mudita Rajan
Brahmana Vigata Jvara
Brahmana Vigata Svara
Rishim Tvastram Upavrajya
Rishim Vastram Upavrajya
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Shuka Uvacha
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Eva Mudita Rajan
Eva Mudita Rajan
Brahmana Vigata Jvara
Brahmana Vigata Jvara
Rishim Tvastram Upavrajya
Rishim Vastram Upavrajya
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Shri Shuka Vacha
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Eva Mudita Rajan
Ta eva mudita rajan
Brahmana Vigata Jvara
Brahmana Vigata Jvara
Rishim Tvastram Upavrajya
Rishim Vastram Upavrajya
Parishvajyedam Apruvan
Parishvajyedam Apruvan Word by word. Sri Shuka Uvacha
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Shukadeva Goswami said,
Shukadeva Goswami said,
Te, all the demigods, Evam, thus, Purita, being advised, Rajan, O King Parikshit, Brahmana, by Lord Brahma, Vigata Jvara, being relieved from the aggrievement caused by the demons. Rishim, the great sage, Tvashtaram, to the son of Tvashta, Upavravrajya, going, Parishvajya, embracing, Idam, this, Abruvan, spoke. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Srila Shukadeva Goswami continued, thus advised by Lord Brahma and relieved of their anxiety, all the demigods went to the sage Vishvarupa, the son of Tvashta. My dear king, they embraced him and spoke as follows. So, since there is no purport, we continue with the next verse. The demigods said, Beloved Vishvarupa, may there be all good fortune for you. We, the demigods, have come to your ashrama as your guests. Please try to fulfill our desires according to the time, since we are on the level of your parents. Next verse. O Brahmana, the highest duty of a son, even though he has sons of his own, is to serve his parents, and what to speak of a son who is a brahmachari. Next verse, 29 through 30. The Acharya, the spiritual master who teaches all the Vedic knowledge and gives initiation by offering the sacred thread, is the personification of all the Vedas. Similarly, a father personifies Lord Brahma, a brother King Indra, a mother the planet Earth, and a sister Mercy. A guest personifies religious principles, an invited guest personifies the demigod Agni, and all living entities personify Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here we have a purport by Srila Prabhupada. According to the moral instructions of Chanakya Pandita, Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu, one should observe all living entities to be on the same level as oneself. This means that no one should be neglected as inferior, because Paramatma is seated in everyone's body. Everyone should be respected as a temple of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This verse describes the different ways in which one should respect a guru, a father, a brother, a sister, a guest, and so on. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pachayani Nirvishesha Samyahadi Pasvadyadi Satani. I again read this verse. The Acharya, the last verse, the Acharya, the spiritual master who teaches all the Vedic knowledge and gives initiation by offering the sacred thread, is the personification of all the Vedas. Similarly, a father personifies Lord Brahma, a brother personifies King Indra, a mother personifies the planet Earth, and a sister personifies mercy. A guest personifies religious principles, an invited guest personifies the demigod Agni, and all the living entities personify Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jai, Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much for inviting me to Gauradesh Dam. I'll turn off my phone here so we don't get any noise. And we are here in a very interesting chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Indra offends Brihaspati. You heard the verses before, that Indra, he was sitting there with his wife Sati, and the demigods were applauding him and praising him, and so his spiritual master Brihaspati came in, and Indra didn't get up from his seat because he was obviously overwhelmed by material affection and pride. So this you can see, this is part of the material energy, always trying to bewilder us. And the bewilderment through material energy, first of all, manifests through disrespect of one's superiors. First of all, disrespect of one's superiors, especially disrespect of one's own spiritual master. And you can see in today's society, more and more, it is becoming like that superiors are not being respected. Government is not being respected. Parents are not being respected. Teachers are not being respected. You can hear of problems in schools that the children, they attack the teachers, citizens attack the police, and so it is. Why is this? It is because of bewilderment through the material energy. Because bewilderment through the material energy, or Maya, specifically results in disrespecting the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or forgetting about Krishna. Forgetting about somebody, that's the deepest type of disrespect you can show him. You forget that he's there, and then if you don't notice him even, you may bump into him, in the street, or you may step on his foot, or you may even do worse things if you don't even notice he's there. So unfortunately, that's the condition of the living entities, bewildered by the material energy. They don't know Krishna is there. That's the highest type of disrespect. Then another type of disrespect is, Prabhupada speaks about it quite often, Mayavadis. They say, God has no eyes, He has no nose, He has no mouth, He has no ears, He has no limbs, He's deaf, He is blind. That is another type of disrespect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Worst type is you just don't notice Him. Second time, you think He's there, but he's a fool, he's dumb, and he can't hear, he can't see, he can't do anything in principle. That's second type of disrespect. So the devotees, they show full respect of the personality of Godhead, and always thinking of the Supreme Lord, and seeing Him everywhere actually. Manmana bhava matva. Going down to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, worshipping Him, and seeing Him everywhere even. Not only when He's on the altar do they see the Supreme Personality of God and bow down to Him, they see Him with His beautiful eyes and ears and limbs, but also everywhere they see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They see the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everyone's heart. And therefore they respect all the living entities. In Hindi, people greet each other by saying Namaste. Right? Namaste or Namaskar, they will say. That means I greet God within your heart. So when we see God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, in everyone's heart, then we will respect everybody properly. We will see Vidya Vinaya Sampani Brahmani Gami Hastini Suni Shaira Patake Chapandita Samadajina. See God in an elephant even, in a saintly Brahmana, in a cow, in a dog, and in a dog eater. Therefore he will have this equal vision. So you could ask this verse, you see, equal vision, sees with equal vision an elephant, see a Brahmana, cow. What does a Brahmana have in common with an elephant? The Pandita sees, here's a Brahmana, and there's an elephant. Equal vision. They are same. Samadashina. What does the Brahmana have in common with the elephant? But that is his vision. Even dog, you will see. What the hell does the Brahmana, the saintly devotee, have in common with the dog? There's different types of knowledge. Knowledge in the mode of passion will look at the differences. You could see there's so many differences between an elephant and a Brahmana. First of all, the size, the weight, so many things. But knowledge in the mode of goodness means you see the same soul pervading everything. You actually focus on the similarities. You do not see what are the differences. You will want to look at what they have in common. This is knowledge in the mode of goodness. And there are quite a long list of things that a brahmana and an elephant have in common. You make a list. Both are living entities. Both are parts of God. Both have to eat, to sleep. Both have a heart and lungs, and so many things in common. There's some differences also, but the list in the mode of goodness, the list of the things they have in common is longer than the list of differences. Therefore, in the mode of goodness, because people see what unites the living entities, there will be peace. Brahmins are always peaceful, tolerant. That's the Brahmana. He is peaceful, tolerant, he's religious, he's fixed in scripture. And so he will respect everybody, therefore he's peaceful. Whereas in the mode of passion, or Rajaguna, there will be constant quarrel. People will always look at the differences. You can see so many wars right now, especially amongst people who seem to be very close, who are very closely related to each other. Like, take present war, Russia, Ukraine, they are very closely related. So, but they have such a terrible war. Now they're bringing more and more weapons, more and more terrible weapons to finish each other off. Or you look at the war in East Palestine, the Israelis against the Hamas. They're very closely related. Islam, even religion, Islam and Judaism are very closely related. They are Semitic people. The languages, Hebrew and Arabic, are closely related. They have been neighbors for centuries, not for ages, for thousands of years. Still, they are such terrible. Why? They don't look at what unites them. They look at what are the differences. What are the difference may be very small, but in the mode of passion, a person will be expert in finding out the smallest differences, and in this Kali Yuga, he will see the differences, and for him they are a cause for fight. He is different from me. Let me fight against him. Let me defeat him. There is an advice given by Prahlad Maharaj of how one should behave in this world. If somebody is superior to you, then you pay respect. You become his servant. If somebody is equal to you, you make friends. And if somebody is inferior to you, then you are merciful to him. You help him. This is advice given by Sri Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the materialist, if somebody is superior to him, he will disrespect him. If he's equal to him, he'll find out the smallest differences, because nobody can be 100% equal. There will be some small difference, and he will quarrel, or he will put impediments in his path so he can't perform well. And if somebody is younger than him or less experienced, he will try to exploit him, or he will disrespect him, try to exploit him. So that's the materialistic demeanor. So here, in this verse, we have a few more examples of how we should behave in human society, assisted by the gods, by the demigods. Srila Prabhupada quotes Chanakya Pandit, Atmavatsava Bhuteshu. The translation of the whole entire verse is quoted very often by Srila Prabhupada. The golden formula the way for human society to attain peace and harmony, is a learned person, a pandit. He will see another's wife as his mother. All women, except for his own wife, he will see as mother. Then he will, the property of anybody else, he will see like dirt, garbage in the street, means he will not be interested in it. And then Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu, he will feel the sufferings of other living entities like his own sufferings. This is also, Krishna also says that in 629 in Bhagavad Gita, that a yogi, by his own experience, he will see the sufferings and enjoyments of all living entities. So this means there is empathy, compassion. We shouldn't walk through this world like elephants, like wild elephants. Prabhupada speaks of the wild elephant offense. That means when an elephant, although he's such a nice animal, goes wild, he will wildly uproot trees and destroy gardens, and very difficult to tame once an elephant has got wild. So we shouldn't trample through nature like wild elephants. Wild elephants, they are intoxicated by pride and they are angry for some reason. We must respect other living entities and also material nature. We shouldn't exploit material nature. Why? Because we feel when other animals suffer, then human beings should be compassionate. They shouldn't make other living entities suffer. But human being has been exploiting material nature for many, many centuries, and to an extent that material nature is not functioning properly anymore. Very noticeable right now. So this is the demonic mentality, actually. Here we have some examples how we should behave. The Acharya, the spiritual master who teaches all the Vedic knowledge and gives initiation by offering the sacred thread, is the personification of the Vedas. The spiritual master is the personification of the Vedas. We also sing that every morning in the Guru Vandana prayer. Vedigai, what is it? Kushuk. What Vedi? Vedigai Yaharacharito. Yes. He is, what is it exactly? He is a personification of all the Vedas, or?
His character is non-different basically from the Vedas.
Okay, he's non-different from the Vedas. Also, looking at the Sri Guru Vandana, I always make it a point, but it's never being remembered. It says, Chakudana Diloje Janme Janme Prabhu se Divyugan Rede Prokashito. It's Prokashito, it's not Prokashito. Prokashito. I asked him in Bengali, you can see there's a long line above the A, so it's Prokashito. And Prokashito means it's revealed. Divyogyan Ride. By his mercy, divine knowledge is revealed in the heart. Prokashito. Prokashito. It's not Prokashito. Everybody has been singing Prokashito for decades. Prokashito. And then Vedigai Jahara Charito. Of course, that is Charito. Then people think Prokashito should rhyme with Charito. Anyway, small thing. We're not concerned with small things. So this Acharya, spiritual master, is the personification of all the Vedas. Similarly, a father personifies Lord Brahma. That's interesting, huh? Brahma, by the way, he is the father of Rigu Muni, Bhrigu Muni, and Bhrigu Muni is the father of Brihaspati and also Sukracharya. So Brihaspati was given the post of being the guru, spiritual master, priest of the demigods. And Sukracharya, the younger brother, he became envious of Brihaspati. That's why he became the spiritual master of the demons. So a brother is personified by King Indra. King Indra. Indra, you see your brother is Indra? I thought it's a little hard for me to understand because King Indra, he is the king of the demigods, the king of heaven, King Indra. There's a story, in Krishna book, story, 10th canto, there's a story of how the inhabitants of Vrindavan were worshipping Lord Indra. Interesting. Okay, he's King Indra, he is like a brother. Brothers, maybe I'm thinking what does King Indra have in common with the brother and what makes him different from a brother? So I'm already thinking that Indra, how could he be a brother? He's so much different than my brother. He's a king of heaven. But no, we have to see the similarities in the mode of goodness. We have to see the similarities. Brothers can sometimes be right and sometimes they can be wrong. You know? Sometimes the relationship with the brother is good, and then for months better not to see him. You have that experience? I mean, once you're grown up. You have brothers? I have 2 brothers. So King Indra also, he's moody. Sometimes like this, sometimes like that. Because Indra, being a demigod, he's a deva, so he is a devotee of God, but he also behaves in quite terrible ways sometimes. Sometimes he has to hide because he gets sinful reaction, King Indra. So yes, we should see our brother like that. Brothers are on equal level. While we may have something in common with King Indra. The mother, the planet Earth. Because you could see, look, everybody's got a mother. What does our mother have in common with planet Earth? She is much smaller. But mothers are always nourishing all living entities. They are nourishing the children. Even up to their death, they will nourish the children. It starts from the time that they have children. You can see even mothers, mostly young, those who have given birth, they're mostly young, how they're always after the child. And my wife also, she doesn't forget her children, even if the children are grown up. Mother. Planet Earth, always, maybe he has some problems, I should help him. Maybe my daughter is not not straightening up her household, so my wife will go and straighten up my daughter's household. I wonder, she is grown up, how can she do that? Now, maybe some problem, I'll help him. You want to eat something, I cook you something. Mother, so always providing. This is mother. Like planet Earth. Planet Earth is symbolized by a cow, actually. Bhumi Devi, the goddess of planet Earth. She is sometimes takes the shape of a cow. And she is generally always providing. There's a story later in Srimad Bhagavatam how King Prithu was angry with the earth because she was not providing for the population. Later, Prithu became angry. And Earth explained to King Prithu why she was not providing. She was saying that previously she was exploited by King Vena and his government, his population. She was being exploited by the demons. This is why she withheld her goods. So mothers also, or women in general, if they are not treated properly, they will they will withhold their blessings. They won't give. It becomes impossible for, like a cow, if you maltreat it, will not give milk. So, but in general, mothers always give, just like the planet Earth. If she's treated well, she will always give. And it is, just see how much she has been giving. Although human beings have not been careful with her. They've tried to exploit her, but she has always been giving. She's still giving, still giving. Now we can see she's becoming a little perturbed because natural mechanisms are destroyed by mankind. The weather is very irregular, and so many trees are cut down, so Earth cannot regenerate the climate like this. So sister, we have mercy. Yeah, I could also see we have sisters are like little mothers. I could see I have 2 boys and 1 girl. So she's always very kind to her brothers. And she's like a little mother. She is the one who keeps the family together. And there is, in Hinduism, there's one day where after Diwali, there's a day when sisters, they respect their brothers, right? They do some puja for their brothers.
I'm not exactly the day, but in a year, on the day of Purnami, they do that.
It's also one day in the five days Diwali. The 5th day is Bharatri Puja, when the sisters worship their brothers. So sister means mercy. A guest personifies religious principles. Well, he should. I mean, when you are a guest, you try to behave, right? Like I'm a guest here in Gauradesh, because I appreciate being a guest and I behave. Because if I don't behave, people won't give me prasadam. That's generally why guests behave. So he tries to be very religious, a guest, always. Otherwise, you invite somebody and he's not behaving, you'll send him out. It didn't work this time. A guest will personify religious principles. While he's a guest, he will behave very nicely and seem to be a very religious person, right? Because if he doesn't behave like that, he won't get a place to rest, he won't accommodate him during the night. So he'll try to be very religious, he'll chant all his rounds. He gets up early in the morning with you, because he's a guest. So that's why he even before he comes, he will make up his mind on how should I behave. There's a saying in Chinese saying that if you go to a place that you haven't been before, first find out what is forbidden, what is not allowed. If you go to a foreign country, first find out what is not allowed. So you have to behave properly. And so like this, guests first of all come to a temple, okay, how to walk in the temple room and what is, so you have to respect. Okay, therefore, he personifies religious principles. For the time being, as a guest, he is a personification of the religious principles. An invited guest personifies the demigod Agni. That's interesting. Invited guest, demigod Agni. You have an idea how that could be? Invited guest. If you invite somebody, he is in your house, he becomes the fire god. Maybe because if you invite him, you expect him to cook. I don't know. To make the fire, to do some work. You want him to do some work for you. And maybe, I'm just thinking. And all living entities personify Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita 15:7, Mamai Vangsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. That all the living entities, they are my parts and parcels. So actually they are parts of the Supreme Personality of God, and therefore they personify Lord Vishnu. Should be like that. Huh? Or you could say they carry Lord Vishnu in their heart, what we were saying before, as Paramatma, Super Soul. Huh? So these are some very good advice on how we should act in this world. The principle of action in this world is karma yoga, yat karoshi yat ashnasi, yat shihosi yat asani, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushvamat arpanam. Whatever you do as sacrifice, whatever austerity you perform, should all be done for the worship of Vishnu. So if God is the center, all this will be natural. Living entity who is a devotee of God, he will naturally behave respectful to all living entities because respectful to Vishnu. But even in a culture where God is the center, or the Vedic culture, although not all people are Paramahamsas, through the culture they are taught to respect God. And they're given the opportunity to make spiritual advancement and even become self-realized souls. Because if we want to become self-realized, we want to attain self-realization, become pure devotees of Krishna, we have to think of Krishna's creation and all the other living entities that Krishna also created. So Lord Indra wasn't doing that, and therefore Brihaspati hid. Indra was actually looking for him. He wanted to apologize for his wrongdoing, but Brihaspati wasn't interested in his apology. So bad was his offense, and he hid. Sometimes the spiritual master may be like that. If out of foolishness we disrespect him, he may not be visible for some time. He may actually be gone, just like Krishna. When you don't respect him, he just withdraws himself. He hides. So Brihaspati actually hid where Indra couldn't find him. So the demigods, they found another spiritual master for him. But we can see as it comes that spiritual master wasn't as good as Brihaspati. They found a type of second-class guru for them. So, yes, so we can take instructions from this story. It becomes a very big thing. And before we had read that the demons, they had first also showed disrespect to Sukracharya, but then later they worshipped him. Does anybody know in which way the demons had shown disrespect to Sukracharya? I did some research, I haven't found it so far. Maybe I need to research more. There are so many stories about Sukracharya and Brihaspati. In the Puranas, we have a few stories in our Srimad Bhagavatam. You know that in Lord Nrsingadev's pastime, Sanda and Amarka, they are sons of Sukracharya. They were the teachers of Prahlad Maharaj. Because Sukracharya is a worshipper of Lord Shiva, and he was also he is the guru of the demons, guru of Hiranyakashipu, also later guru of Bali Maharaj. And his two sons, Sanda and Amarka, became teachers of Prahlad Maharaj. So I looked up the name Sanda. Sanda means eunuch. 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 Sanda means eunuch, eunuch. Amarka means the living force, so amarka means contrary to the living force, or death, something like that. So they were teaching Prahlad Maharaj, sons of Sukracharya. Then we have the story Bali Maharaj, that Bali Maharaj wanted to give to Vamandev, but Sukracharya said, no, don't do, because he was interested in karma kanda, he was not interested in pure devotion to Krishna. So, any questions on this? Any comments? You're here from the World Sankirtan Party. I saw Harinam. You also?
Yeah. We are doing Harinam.
Yeah.
Today is Harinam.
Yeah, I come with you. I go out. But you're not bringing Mahavishnu Swami with you, are you?
No, he was here already. We was here. Mahavishnu Swami was here.
Oh yeah.
Last week.
But you can even survive without him. You always ride with the bicycle, right?
Yes.
I follow you on Facebook. You're in such beautiful places often. But Cologne is not especially beautiful now at this time.
Oh, it's nice.
But you make videos of these beautiful places in Australia. Once my wife and me, we traveled to Mexico City, and we came to the Mexico City temple. Your party was there. You remember? With Vishnu Jan. You had these big hats, Mexican hats. Yeah. Okay. Any other? All right. Then we stop here. Oder hast du noch was? Ist jetzt auch Ende, nicht? Oder? Ist jetzt Ende auch? Ja, ne? Okay. Alles klar. Haribo, Haribo.
Hare Krishna.